ataupun dan nama lain production order quantity. Now, production order quantity ini bukan sebarangan ya, bukan yang baru untuk kamu. Kamu dah pernah melalui masa POM, tapi hari ini kita akan fokus dari segi detail what is POQ all about. Okay, sebelum kita masuk topik ni, satu case, problem case sepatutnya ada start dah hari ini, hari pertama. Case pertama berbunyi begini nah, minta semua dengar. Right, this company XYZ, right? This company XYZ, in fact, it's a very good company. It's a MNC company located in the northern of Malaysia. Eventually, what happened is that they have been enjoying a very good order from the customer for quite some time. But lately, for the last 2 months, seems that the order has been declined stage. That means order dah turun. Maksud dekat sini tempahan dah turun. Right? So bila order dah turun, right? So dilema lah sekarang. Okay, nah apa yang maksud dilema dekat sini ialah what is the things that be worried here is that they have set, daripada set 50 production line. 50 production line whereby just nice to meet the capacity of the previous demand that is quite huge. But lately, which I have mentioned to you, because the decline of the demand, so this production line 50, that means 30 lines seems to be ideal. Ideal maksud dekat sini ialah idling. Maksud dekat sini, there's no order, there's no production, there's no input and output, but operator standby. So when operator standby, gaji akan dimasukkan jugalah setiap bulan. Jadi kosong, input output tak ada. Now the second part, the balance 20 seems to be they have the demand, they can proceed with input and output. That is finished good. That is finished good. So now what happened here? The 30 seems to be empty, there's no production. The second one, 20, seems to be they have this so-called demand. They still can go on. Right? You know what is production, you have learned this in your POM. Alright. Now what I'm trying to pull you in, kenapa saya nak bawa kamu ke case ni ialah, right? Kalau kamu as a practitioner, andaikan kamu masuk dalam bidang ini, industri ini, dan dengan knowledge yang kamu dapat from POM, dengan sepanjang 2 topik ini, right? Apakah strategi, what will be your action plan? Right? Apakah strategi, apakah plan tindakan yang perlu kamu ambil, right, untuk meningkatkan demand ni, ataupun sebaliknya sekiranya demand ni masih tak improve, apakah strategi yang sepatutnya kita nak implement? What could be the best strategy that you're able to implement, right? Since there's a 50 production line, 30 seems to be idling, then you have the operator standby, you're using the utility, so it's a wastage to the company. But lucky thing, they have another 20 that is fulfilled and in fact they're meeting the capacity. So that 30 there's another name for that, we call under capacity. Under capacity maksud tak ada lah. So pada pandangan kamu, what could be your best option ataupun action plan untuk revive keadaan situasi ini? Now, I'll give you 1 minute from now. Think about it. Right, bagi mereka yang baru masuk, ni adalah berkenaan dengan satu company XYZ, and it's a MNC company, multinational company. It's not SME. And what happened is mereka menerima tempahan banyak sebelum ni, right? Tapi baru-baru ni selama 2 bulan ni tempahan mereka dah agak menurun, dan apakah akibatnya kita tak tahu. Dan secara kebetulan, right, mereka mempunyai 50 line assembly proses pengeluaran platform tu memang dah ada, and dalam 50 ni difahamkan 30 line assembly ni nampaknya tak ada proses pengeluaran. Yang hanya kita nampak ialah operator hanya menunggu saja. dan gaji masih berterusan. Utility semua dipakai. Jadi ini rugilah untuk company. Dan yang balance 20 ni difahamkan memang ada tempahan dan mereka akan teruskan. Bahan siap, tempahan ni masuk barang siap. So, dalam keadaan sedemikian sekarang, alright, pihak pengurusan terpaksa mengambil satu tindakan wajar, one action plan untuk untuk meneruskan, untuk kita tak mahu sebarang kerugian disebabkan 30 yang lain assembly tak diguna pakai. So, apakah strategi yang wajar, apakah pelan tindakan yang wajar untuk menambah baikkan keadaan sebenarnya situasi berkenaan? Right, this baton best pass back to you. Anyone from here? 1 minute dah melalui. Any question, guys? Right, please look forward for your answer. What could be the best strategy? This could be your first case ever. As I spoke, it will be a lot of cases. This is a real case, right? Siapa nak cuba? Hi everyone. Semalam satu kelas 2 orang bagi pandangan secara volunteer. So it was very fruitful discussion. So I'm hoping from you guys also same time. What could be the best strategy to overcome the current situation, right? To assure that, right, there will not be any loss to the company at the end. That's the bottleneck. So what could be the best strategy? Anyone? Tak ada. Okay, so I need to give the answer lah, kira. Don't anyone want to give a try? Just give a try. Don't worry about that, guys. Just try. I want to see your idea, your opinion on this. Look forward. Nana. All right. Okay, now this way. Now you have 50 line. It's already there, right? Definitely you're not going to dismantle it. You need to maintain it. We're hoping that in future there could be a demand pattern could be increased further, right? But now at this moment we know that the whole scenario thing is that the 30 line seems to be idling with the current manpower of the operator still stagnant, and you still continue to pay their salary as well. So it could be a loss to the company. And to overcome this current situation, right? So I'm going to bring you to another perspective. Now, first question back to you. This could be very easy. I want you to answer back. All right. You have gone through your supply chain. Topic 4. There are 5 important elements, right? The first one is pembekal, vendor atau supplier. Second is the pekilang, manufacturer. Right. The third one is pemborong, distributor, wholesale. The third, right, the fourth one is the peruncit or the retailer. The last one is the customer, pengguna. So 5P, pembekal, pekilang, pemborong, peruncit, pengguna. So 5P ni adalah elemen penting dalam supply chain. So now, when look from the angle of pekilang, now we are not using the slide today. Right, don't worry, there's no slide today. Right, I'm going to show you the concept through the whiteboard. Now I'm discussing, right, on the problem case first. It's a problem case, right? So what I'm trying to say that, okay, they need to find a way. So now I want to bring you guys again, right? Dari mana kamu dapat bahan mentah? Where do you actually get your supply of the raw material? That could be very easy answer, right? Anyone? Bahan mentah ni datang dari mana?
Pembekal.
Yeah, straightforward. Thank you, Jiha. Right? Yes, very good. Supplier, 2 of you correct. So now, adakah sektor kilang ni, do you think that the factory, right, solely need to 100% depend from the supplier? Since you have manufacturing at this now, the current situation that they have 30 production line. Why not why not you consider to produce your own raw material instead? Nampak jelas? Bagaimana sekiranya strategi ini di mana kita ke arah di mana kita membuat, right? Yeah, QR code, yeah, correct. At this moment, I'm still using the QR. I have not come to the whiteboard yet. We're discussing on the product problem case. Don't worry, I'll come back to the whiteboard. Just hold on for a while, right? Right, the QR code still on because I'm still discussing a problem case. Normally it's like that, right? Then I'll come back to the whiteboard, right? Today there will not be any PowerPoint. Back to this again. Where am I just now? Yeah. So they need to find a way to overcome. So one of the ways that why not, right? The strategy that you might consider to impose is to produce your own raw material. Nampak jelas? So when you want to produce your own raw material, now your mind could be more or less be thinking, right? More or less be thinking is that, right? Okay, what could be the best technique now? Now your strategy, your action is to develop, right? To make use of the current 30 production line, right? Then at the same time, we need to find a technique to go on with this current strategy. So what could be the best strategy ever? That is today's class. That is on POQ, production order quantity. Okay, now we are going to the whiteboard, right? Okay. Okay, now you have the whiteboard. Hold on, I'm going to share to you. Today, please do not refer to your PowerPoint, right? So I'm going to give you a concept first from the whiteboard. I'm going to teach you on that. So much more easier for you to understand. Hold on. Right. Can you see the whiteboard? Boleh nampak ke whiteboard? Right. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Now, let me show you. Now, thank you, guys. Now, we are planning to use POQ technique. Kaedah. That is production order quantity, right? POQ technique. So today's class is about POQ. EOQ, right? We have gone through before. So POQ is part and parcel enhancement from the basic EOQ. See the word production order quantity. Sebelum ni economic order quantity. So what you try to gauge here? So now, before we go into that, is that we need to know this one, the small p, right? The small p and the small d. Right, what does small p stand for? Anyone like to give a try? Kamu pernah belajar masa POM dulu? Small p ni apa dia? What is small p? Okay, Lee, Jian, thank you. How about the rest? What is small p? Small p we call as production rate. Kadar proses pengeluaran. Production rate. Now, D is the demand rate. So you have that in your slide. So I'm not going to use the slide today. So I'm going to use the board. Now, what's the difference between production rate and demand rate as you have gone through in your POM before? Anyone like give a try? Apa beza di antara dua ni? Right, production rate means, right, the capability of the manufacturing since, right, they are going to produce their own raw material, right? So the capability, the maximum level ability for them to produce their own raw material in a day. Itu maksud dia. Dalam satu hari standard capacity menunjukkan berapa mereka boleh mengeluarkan bahan mentah. D ini, demand rate means is penggunaan bahan mentah. Penggunaan. That means what could be the rate of consumption, especially at the finished good department where they consume this raw material. So what could be the rate? So in a nutshell, POQ is a concept, right, whereby one end, right, production who involved in producing their own raw material, they produce and simultaneously, right, they consume the raw material at the same time. Itu maksud dia. Right, are you guys with me now? Maksud dekat sini ialah, right, dia ada dua jabatan di mana ia melibatkan satu jabatan yang melibatkan dalam proses pengeluaran bahan mentah sendiri. Right? Dan satu lagi jabatan bahan siap di mana tugas mereka untuk menggunakan bahan mentah. Jadi dalam konsep POQ difahamkan ialah right, proses pengeluaran bahan mentah akan berjalan pada masa yang sama dan penggunaan bahan mentah akan juga digunakan pada masa yang sama. So we call a gradual, right? So that we call production order quantity. Now this is just a basic. Now I'm going to show you the next one. Hold on. I'd like to stop here for a while. Any question, guys? Berapa soalan? Any question, guys? Berapa soalan? So far so good, Alan? Right, thank you. Now, let me split this, right? Let me split this. Jabatan, right? You have a jabatan bahan mentah. Bahan mentah, I put R, raw material. RM, raw material. Then you have another one, jabatan, finished good. FG, FG. So now you have two different departments. One department produce the raw material, another department produce their finished good. Okay, now, looking at this point here, now, when you speak about production order quantity, now, when to order, how many to order, and when to produce it. So this case here, who give the order? So before you try to say who give the order, let me explain to you. Under the Department of Raw Material, let's say I put a small p here, small p, right? Production rate. At the raw material department, production rate is, let's say, if I start to put here, 20. This is the rate, 20 unit. Right? One good, very good example is that. That's why I prefer to teach you by whiteboard first. Now, production rate seems that, right, the raw material department has the capability, maximum level they're able to produce in one day is only 20 units. So mereka mempunyai right, keupayaan untuk mengeluarkan bahan mentah paling maksimum 20 unit dalam satu hari. Itu maksud dia, small p. Then over here, the D here is, right, I prefer to use from 20 become only 2 now, 2 units. This is the rate, demand rate. Okay. Now, if you observe the P and D, the D here is, right, the finished good department, jabatan bahan siap ni mempunyai keupayaan untuk menggunakan setiap hari hanya 2 unit bahan mentah saja. Menggunakan dalam proses input and output. Nampak jelas? Right? So dalam proses POQ ni kita tak melibatkan pembekal. Di manufacturing, dia sekarang dia ada 2 jabatan. Jabatan yang mengeluarkan bahan mentah, supply, dia jadi macam as the supplier now. Alright? Where they produce on their own, finished good hanya menggunakan. So now you have P and D. So now, who gives the order? The order normally given by the finished good department. So that one we call as Q. Right? So in this case here, the Q here, can I put here 100 units. So this we call as optimal quantity. Dalam EOQ, optimal quantity order. So now, production of finished good, preparing their plan to channel order to whom? To the raw material department. Right? So now the channeling 100 units order to the raw material department. Please prepare. I need 100 units of this because I'm planning to use this in future. So the raw material department received the order 100 now. Okay, I'd like to stop here for a while. Siapa masih tak dapat follow lagi? I don't mind to ulang balik. Semua okey kah? Right? Oh, okay, most of it okay. Very good, thank you. So, in view of this, you know that the 100 order has been channeled from finished good department to the raw material department. So now, a simple mathematical want you to think very fast, split of second. How long it takes for the raw material to produce the whole 100 pieces? How long it takes to produce the whole 100 pieces? How many days? Siapa boleh jawab? How long the raw material department has the ability to produce complete the whole 100 orders that received from finished good? Berapa lama? Berapa hari? Ya? 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 Teruskan. Ya, 5. Betul, tepat sekali. Alright. So, bagaimana kamu dapat 5? Nampak ni? Yang ni yang saya sebut tadi. Satu hari, mereka dapat menjanakan pengeluaran lebih kurang 20 unit. In a one day, they has a capacity, ability, as a maximum rate, they're able to produce 20 units of raw material. Therefore, in order to complete the whole 100, so 100 divide by 20, so it takes almost about 5 days. Kau faham tak? Dia ambil lebih kurang 5 hari. Are you guys are following? Right, good. Now, I spoke to you many times just now. They produce the raw material, they're producing, the production of raw material still go on within that stipulated of 5 days. At the same time, the consumption of the raw material also run in a simultaneously pattern. So, ni tampak dia punya sequence sekarang, bila produce, bam siap ni akan menggunakan bam mentah. Pada masa mereka tak akan tunggu, mereka akan teruskan penggunaan. So, dalam 5 hari, berapakah mereka dah guna pakai bam mentah? Jabatan finish good. Berapa hari? How many days? Right, dalam 5 hari, berapakah penggunaan bam mentah sekarang? Satu hari, mereka menggunakan bam mentah hanya 2. Demand rate kan? Penggunaan hanya 2. Jadi dalam 5 hari berapa? Simple. 5 kali 2. So that is comes to 10. You see that or not? Are you okay? Are you guys are following now? Are you guys are following? All right. So now, in order to ensure that the whole 100, so within the 5 days, they're able to complete the whole order. Boom, by the raw material department. At the same time, the consumption start to take place on a daily basis until the 5th day, the whole 10 units has been consumed. Therefore, what will be the balance inventory left over now that within that 5 days? What will be the balance inventory left over within the 5 days? What is the leftover? Inventory. Sekarang stok dekat Jabatan Finish Good ada berapa? Sebab dia pun ada buat tempahan 100. Dalam 5 hari dah siap. Dalam 5 hari, 10 dah digunakan. Yes, Eng. Very good. Right, the rest of you. Correct, 90. So, 100 minus 10. So, that is 90. So, this one, that's one term for it. So, I'm going to show you the formula now. Right. So far, let me stop here. Take a rest. 3 minutes from now, I'll come back to you. All right. Let's redesign the formula together. Okay. Any question, guys? Sebarang soalan? Sebarang soalan? Anything you're not your doubt? Anything you need to clarify? If not, can I proceed, guys? Boleh ke? Alright. Okay. Now, right. Let me erase this. Now, okay. We are coming up to this now. Okay. Now, okay. Now, all right. The order now. The order now we know that is Q. Right. The Q is the order. Okay. So the Q has 100. The order is 100. Just now, contoh yang sama, 100. At the same time, we realize that, right, the Q here, the order base here, right, we want, okay, I need to erase this, hold on. Production rate, hold on, right, you have the production, okay, production rate here, that is P, okay, that is production rate. Now, in how many days, it depends on the Q, the optimal quantity, so the Q be here. Right? The case is now was 100 and P is 20. You remember this? So the Q is still 100, so P 20. So 100 divided by 20, it takes about 5 days. Okay, we have gone through that again. So now the order is the Q is actually the optimal quantity. Q is the optimal quantity. P is the production rate. At the same time, right, within that 5 days, 100 divided by 20, within 5 days, right, how many total consumption unit has been taken care of? How many units has been consumed? So can I put over here D? It's this, right? Hold on. Right. So that will be D here, right? The D is here. So that is comes to they consume only 2 per day. Nampak jelas sekarang? So they consume only 2 per day. So therefore, if I asked you just now I did ask you, what is the leftover inventory? What is the balance stock? So you say that the answer was 90. Remember 90? So now I'm using the term Q, P, and D to derive the formula. Right? So in that case here, can I put this way? Right? Hold on. Right? Minus. Right? Minus here. So eventually what happened? The 100. Now this way here is 100 divided by 20 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. So 100 minus 10. That is 90. That's where you got a 90, right? So now, if you use simple factor out, I think you have done this in your maths before, factor out. What is similar here? Q and Q, right? So what happened here? I take out Q, right? So what is left over? 1 minus D over P. Is this same? Is this same? Same not? Sama tak? Tadi saya gunakan oral. So now we have finally developed the formula. Right, this formula, we call this as, that's a name, not leftover inventory. We call this as maximum inventory. Maximum inventory. So this could be the leftover. What do we mean by maximum inventory? Right, let me guide you on this. You've been taught from the day one POM till now, inventory, even the warehouse, is that the function of warehouse is to receive raw material from the supplier. They will receive even 5 days stock, even 10 days stock, they keep it. They have a special storage area, warehouse, right? So they have a capacity to keep. But in production line, because production produce raw material, finished good, they consume raw material. So they need a space, right? So the space there is quite limited. They don't have their warehouse. So in view of this, they need to plan. what would be my maximum inventory allowable for me to keep any one time within the 5 days? Right? So this case here, the maximum allowable for this sample is 90. So they're allowed to keep 90 because they are not taking care of only one raw material. Could be many types. So are you guys with me now? You guys are following? You guys are following? Right? So in view of this, right, now let's see. Okay, now I'm going to show you the PowerPoint. Hold on. Hold on. Bit slow. Oh ya, lari. Right, boleh nampak ke? PowerPoint? Right, thank you. So that's the reason I don't want to go into PowerPoint, because when I explain, it'll be much more easier for you to understand using the PowerPoint now. Right? Okay, let me enlarge a bit slower. Hang on for a while. Right? Okay. This is the one production rate, demand rate I explained to you. So directly you see the formula here. At the end, where is it? Right, you see that the graph here is Q1 minus DOP. That's the maximum. Q over 2 is the average inventory. Right? So you see all the way, this now I'm not going to teach you the formula yet. Once you're back from Raya, right? Since we have created, just show you, right? This 1 minus D over P is shown here as well. If I explain through PowerPoint, definitely you're not going to understand. All right? So if you observe here, the optimal quantity, tengok cursor saya ni, look at the carrying cost. Sebelah carrying cost is 1 minus D over P. Look at the total inventory cost. Sebelah carrying cost, you have 1 minus D over P. Why? Why not beside ordering cost? Because maximum inventory level is physical item you are handling. It's a holding cost. So it is subject to the carrying cost, not ordering cost, right? So that's the difference, EOQ and POQ. All the formula is the same, except 1 minus D over P. All right? So that's the reason why, all right, I want you to really understand, right, this POQ concept. Right, okay, just again, in our final exam, either could be POQ or either could be EOQ or could be both. Normally, every single semester will be tested. Right? So don't worry, I'll be giving a practice, right? Practices. There'll be 2 questions for you to attempt, right? Okay, now back to my PowerPoint again, all right? So this one I'll teach you the calculation on the next after Raya. All right, okay, let me go to the whiteboard again. Hold on. Right, boleh nampak ke whiteboard? Hi guys, boleh nampak ke? All right, thank you guys. Okay, now we have done a good job. Right? We know Q1 minus DOP is a term we use in POQ that makes them different within the basic EOQ. And the reason why is under the carrying cost, parallel to carrying cost, because they are involved holding costs. Your material is being physically could be seen, right? So now I'm going to test your knowledge. They come to your the last part of your knowledge. All right. Now let's say, okay, now please observe this very carefully. Would you like to take a rest for a while? Do you want to rest for a while? Anyone? Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes because I'm going to the last part, right? Take a rest for a while. All right, okay. All right, let's go back to this. Right, I'm going to test your knowledge, whatever you learned just short while ago. Huh? Okay, supposing now, is P is greater than D. If P, right, is lesser than D. If P is equal to D, right? So over here, I'm going to put the word status. So you have 1, you have 2, and you have 3. Now, I want you to think. I give you 1 minute only, right? 1 minit saja. Right? Apakah pilihan pilihan bijak? Right? What could be your smart move? The choices that you plan to go on, either the first one or the second one or the third one. And let me know, right? Justify the you have picked up, right? This falls under which status now? 1 minute from now. Kamu buatlah satu pilihan bijak untuk memilih salah satu, bukan 2, 3, salah satu dah cukup. Untuk pastikan kamu dah buat satu pilihan bijak, a wise decision, right? In the right move for you to make sure that the POQ runs smoothly at the end. So which could be your preference? And what will be the status now? All right, just to test you what you have learned so far, right? 1 minute, I'm waiting, right? Okay, let's move. All right, actually, if we were in face-to-face class, definitely all the 8 or 9 groups will be us. All right, so since this is online, so open. Right, volunteer please. Which one you go for? P greater than D, the first one, or the second P lesser than D, or the third one P equals to D. And let me know the status why you made that choice. So, anyone, let me give a try. Hi guys. Okay, let's say you don't go for status, it's okay. But try to make a choice and justify to me why you make that choice. First, second, or third. P is the production rate, D is the demand rate. What could happen? Use that sample which I've learned just now. Right? Anyone? Because minimum waste and cost efficiency, right? Thank you. At least you're trying. Very good. So you're going for the third one. Thank you. Okay, how about the rest? P equals to D, efficient use of resources, because very no surplus, no stock up. All right, I agree to you. Thank you, both of you. Well done. How about the rest? I need another one more. Lagi seorang. Tadi dah ada dua, One more to go. Right. Still 3. Balance supply with demand, avoiding shortage. Yeah, I agree to you. Right. Right, three of you, thank you. So shall we pursue? Okay, let's look on the majority claims third choice is the best choice because seems that no excess, no shortage. Okay, right, in that case here, the status here, can I put it more clearer for you to understand? Okay, if P greater than D, this could be excess. Right? If P lesser than D, definitely we call this a shortage. Right? If P equals to D, that means no. Right? No E, no excess, and no for shortage. Right? So this is how it goes. So you have made the third choice. Okay, now put it. I want you to think this way. The current raw material which you have produced is actually a confirmed order received by the finished good. That means more or less, you're planning to consume in future to come. Right? Okay, now if you're going for third choice, P equals to D. Listen, P equals to D. I'm very grateful you have made a choice. Quote and unquote, unless and until if there's no poor quality issue, let's say the quality is right, seems to be, let's say there's no defect, there's no spoilage, right? You know what's defect, right? Kecacatan, when you receive, all right, you find there's a defect, so you need to do additional work. We call rework. After rework, it turns out to be good or it turns out to be spoiled. So in this case here, unless and until there's no quality issue, that means for the last couple of months, right, you have not been confronting on the issue on quality. So third choice is the best choice. So I'll agree to you on that point. Let's say the other way around. Right, you have anticipated based on the last couple of events, seems that the raw material department have produced some defect. You see the word? They have produced some defect. So what happened now? So do you think the P equals to D could be your choice? So think tank. All right, definitely no for the answer, right? So now go for the second choice now. Second choice, definitely you're not going to go. That could be nothing much you can agree to. Shortage, we don't have shortage because inventory management is not to have shortages as far as concerned. Not to have excess as possible as far as concerned. But for this case here, right, you may consider to accept P greater than D excess, but this excess here more or less will be consumed in future. It cannot run away because the amount you are producing is very little. Likewise, if you're depending on EOQ, depending on supplier, that means you're bringing in right many quantity, but still, even though it's under control, right? But the quantity will be parked at the warehouse. But likewise, for this case, POQ is already parked at the production line. That means could be any time they might be using a couple of days. So either could be one or three. If with three, in the case where there's no quality issue, definitely I go for this. If there's a case of quality, that means third choice is not favorable enough. So definitely what happened now? What is left over now? So the only thing left over is one. This could be more safety. Right? The access is there, but very minimal compared to EOQ. Are you guys following now? Yeah, everyone, boleh ikut ke? Right? Okay, this is how you make decision along the way. Right. Do you have any question to ask me? Kita ada lagi 1-2 minit. Oh, 1:47 already. Aman, 1-2 question. This is a very good problem case just now you have learned. You are coming up with this because you cannot find this in your slide. So I want you to make sure that it's kind of like a brainstorming for you to think. Do you have any question from so far from POQ perspective? Right. If none, don't worry. After Raya, I'll repeat this because this is online. We'll repeat. I'll let you know the whole thing. Okay, now wrap up the whole thing now. In topic 2, you have gone through EOQ. EOQ is actually you're dealing with a third-party supplier, right? POQ is a case when the demand decline, the company will undertake responsibility. We come out with an action plan whereby instead depending from the supplier, they produce their own raw material. So the only one of the technique is POQ. Production order quantity could be the best option to overcome any ideal of the line assembly, production line. So operator has some work to do. You can see that very clear. So now what I can see, if you compare EOQ or POQ, right? POQ could be also depends. EOQ also could be depends, right? So when you're come back from the holiday, I'll explain to you thoroughly, right? So let's be close for today. Do you have any question you'd like to ask me? Sebarang soalan. Anything you'd like to ask me? Let me share you this attendance. Hold on. Sebarang soalan. Sebarang soalan, guys. Okay. Right. Okay. First of all, today could be our 6th class, right? You have taken about 2 weeks of your time. Thank you for attending the 2 replacement class. Thank you very much for that. Lucky you, thank you for being, quite disciplined enough. You are very responsible to attend most of the classes, right? So thumbs up to that. Right, I'd like to take this opportunity to all of, right, for those celebrating Raya and those as a Malaysian celebrating together, right, Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri, wherever you are, di mana jua, right, safe journey back to your hometown, right, for those who are coming back holiday, right, also in the kampung, safe journey as well, right, happy holidays and Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri to all of you, right, from me, right, thank you very much and happy holiday, guys. Okay, guys, before this, sorry, I forgot to inform you. On the day of your class, on coming Monday, I mean on the 7th, I insist you to sit according to your group. You know the group projects, right? So please make sure that you sit according to your group. So we're going to have a lot of cases along the way to be asked. So it'll be very interesting and, right? You're going to have a fun along the way. Right, that's all for me. Thank you for being for the last 6 classes. Okay, guys, look forward to see you face to face. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Doctor.
Happy holiday, guys.
Thank you, Doctor.